Hello everybody, it's VerticalSandwich and welcome to a very special One Day Let's Play. We're One Day Let's Playing possibly the worst game that has ever been made for the Super Nintendo. It's Shaq Fu. Alright, for those of you who don't know, this game regularly tops lists of worst video games ever made. And we're going to go through why a little bit. This is a little more in-depth than most of the Let's Plays I'll do. Because the game is so short and because the game is so notorious. So, and there are some things about it I really want to talk about. So, essentially, let's start with, this is a Street Fighter clone. Pure and simple. They just took Street Fighter and, like, essentially put Shaq in it and made it a lot less cool. But you can see we're on the options screen and we could change the level. We're going to change it to easy because we just want to get through this thing. You can change the game speed fast and normal. We'll deal with that a little later. And then we can change our controls. So, unlike Street Fighter, you can play as one character in the story mode and one character only. I don't know if there's a story mode for Street Fighter. I never played Street Fighter. But when you see the mechanics of this game, you're instantaneously going to go like, wait, what? Also, this game probably has the most minimal explanation I've ever seen in a game. Like, it essentially just, like, it just drops you in the game. So, and out of that, let's just go in. Let's do the story mode. So there, we're Shaq. It's downtown Tokyo, and I'm checking out the local sites on the day of my all-star charity game. When? And look at that Pepsi product placement. Look at it! It's like a bad movie, everybody. I stumbled upon a small kung fu dojo with an old man inside, which is what happens to everybody in Tokyo. More product placement, by the way. And we're gonna let this run. This is... Greetings, big warrior. You are the one from the stars, I presume. I thought I'd never live to see the day. Alright. We're already in I don't understand land. I'm an all-star, if that's what you mean. We have a game tonight. Would you like to come? It's gonna be quite a battle, even though it's for charity. So there we go. Charity basketball game. He's inviting strangers to it, walking around Tokyo. Like, yeah. Oh no, young warrior. I'm too old to be fighting, but I wish you well. You must hurry now if you are to save the little boy Nezu. That is, if you really are the magic one. Like, what? 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 We just... 0 to 60 there. I'm not sure what you mean. I'm just sightseeing before my game. What are you talking about? And then, so they don't have to write any plot for this game whatsoever, this happens. No time to explain. Of course not. Of course, no time. Go through this portal, find Nezu, and save him before it's too late. What? What? Like, that's just the door to his back room. You could see boxes back there. Boxes. Shaq enters the second world. Suddenly, second world. Whoa, where am I? Obviously, you're in the second world. And then we're running around on the map as Shaq. Okay, now on to game mechanics. You enter an area, and there'll be an enemy. And they'll say, what's up, Catwoman? Can you tell me about the little boy Nezu? So he's on board already. And then she says, I'm going to do some serious damage to your body. So he knows what's going on. And you'll watch, like, this is a straight up, like, 2 rounds out of 3 fighter. And, like, just take a minute to kind of check out these mechanics. Obviously, we have a timer. We have life bars. And we have a damage bar below that allows you to go into Fury mode. Okay? Now, you're going to watch as people take damage, as the battle wears on. Their pictures change. And we're going to take a moment right now to kind of go through the varieties of pictures in this fight, this first fight, and just show kind of what can happen to people. So, things are going to change here, and I'll be back with you. Alright, this is Shaq normally in the battle. Like, he'll always start looking like this. When he gets slightly beat up, his picture changes to this. And this is also a face that flashes when he's surprised or confused. This is Shaq really hurt, which his mouth is open, but to me it looks like he's grown a gigantic mustache. So that will be the end face for a broken Shaq, essentially. This is his angry face. It's his win face as well. And then it also flashes red and doubles as his Fury face. And I know the graphics on that are horrible, but it's because of the flashing color. Alright, so this is our first opponent's normal face, Kaori. And she actually, I didn't get a good screenshot of her mid-level hurt face, but this is her last kind of injured face. And then she also has a furious appearance, which looks like this. And actually is kind of terrifying. So now, back to the rest of the battle we are in progress in. Alright, so, you can watch, as, like I said, as the images change in the corner, the bars underneath as they fill up, and you'll see that the red bar under the life bar actually tends to power special moves, like that ducking shield she just did is powered by that bar. The bar fills up quicker as you take damage. Consecutive damage will fill the bar up. So, and again, this is in the style of and don't get me wrong, this game doesn't look bad. Like, that's one of the things that really confused me about it when I was expecting to play one of the worst games ever made. And I said earlier that this is regularly tops lists of the worst games ever made. It doesn't. It regularly comes in the middle. I've seen it fourth in a couple lists and things like that. Some of the Philips CDI Nintendo stuff regularly tops, and some of the really horrible Atari stuff like ET tends to rank above this. Now that doesn't mean that this game isn't special in its own right, because it kind of is. I have to say that it certainly, and you can see that is what when the red bar fills up. The character goes into Fury, which I believe means that they do double damage. I'm not sure. But, because again, the resources online for this, not a lot of people have played this game seriously. This game has largely become a joke of kind of the industry. At least among players. So. Now, I think it's a lazy game. I mean, without a doubt. When you look at it, it definitely seems like somebody didn't want to put a lot of effort into a game. That the idea was to get out a product that they could slap a Pepsi endorsement on and a basketball player's name. So you can see if you don't time out, you actually get bonus for the life remaining. At last I'm freed from Set-Ra's mind control ring. Nezu is being held on Tombstone Island, but you must get by Set-Ra's loyal army first. Okay. So there we go. That's our first opponent. Right there. Now there's no, on the first island, and this is like, this screen will hold us until we hit the button, but on the first island there is no enforcement as to which opponent you go to first. She's obviously meant to be the first opponent. This is meant to be the second opponent, but you can go to this one first if you want. Be careful, Prince, you might hurt yourself with those swords. My swords will make you think twice about that comment. And like, okay, everybody speaks English in this crazy world where mummies are living and stuff, but also, like, how do you know he was a prince? It begs a lot of questions. And also, what's up with that person sitting on the stairs? Anyway, so, and like, if that multiple kick doesn't convince you that this thing is a Street Fighter clone, I don't know what's gonna. And definitely that is the thing about the game, is that it looks good because of its predecessors. It looks good because other games had done this before. And there was a format for designing games like this when this game came out. You know, but that format was done, first much better. And, you know, and when it wasn't just an attempt to kind of slot a celebrity into a marketable product, which this obviously was. By the way, Shaquille O'Neal, if you're listening to this, please don't hurt me. Like, I don't want to trash Shaquille O'Neal's involvement. I'm sure he had nothing to do with game development or marketing or anything like that. And don't get me wrong, I have nothing against, like, bad games happen. Like they do. As long as there are video games, there will be bad ones. So. But this one I was actually, there were a lot of things that I was surprised about this one. I mean, don't get me wrong. We are not in, like, we have, the mechanics of the game and the opening and the phases and stuff, and the products, like, placed in the game, those are bad. The game doesn't get better. Like, it will essentially just be, it's punching and kicking. It's punching and kicking on easy. That's what's going on here. Also, some of the things that made other similar games really good are lacking in a game like this. Like finishing moves in Mortal Kombat. And Eternal Champions. Alright. You may have gotten past my swords, but Voodoo's magic will teach you a lesson, fool. And see, again, Voodoo is not the next opponent. So, okay. Anyway, so yeah, so things like finishing moves and like kind of unique special moves for characters and things like that, not so much. The game is punching and kicking. You know, and there is something about kind of creativity within your format that this game just seems to, it just doesn't have. So here we are, Gargoyle's Peak. Tell me where the boy Nazoo is before I beat it out of you. Yeah, right, I'll whisper it in your ear after I slap you silly. Like, no green monster's gonna tell you he's gonna slap you silly. He's gonna tell you he's gonna, like, swallow your soul or show your heart to you before you die. Like, so we know where this game was marketed now. That's the other thing, too, is that the game is essentially bloodless. You know, and I understand that at this era in video gaming, that there was quite a controversy about that. That there were, you know, but you had to enter blood codes for the Mortal Kombat on some systems, and that Ocarina of Time, there are different versions of whether or not Ganondorf pukes up blood or puke at the end. Like, very strange stuff. There were similar issues with movies in the 40s, and censorship boards and things like that we don't have today. So it's very strange. It kind of like it's kind of strange to look at something like that from the idea of, like, you know, a Silent Hill, you know, survival horror, blowing up zombies kind of world. And the battles will be numbered by how many you've had. So if you continue, and you have a limited amount of continues, and we'll deal with that because I don't believe, this is all post-commentary, of course. I don't believe that I won this battle. In fact, at this point, I was pretty worried that I wasn't going to be able to beat the game, which is really funny, because I, actually, it took me less than an hour, I think, for my first time ever playing. So that's another thing to be said for the amount of respect given to players of this game. Oh, we won the second round. And well, too. You can get a perfect match. I don't believe that I did. Although I do achieve something very, I think, kind of surprising later on. And we'll show it. And we're going to show you everything, because it's a Let's Play. Also, it almost seems like the damage you do to enemies is almost arbitrary. And that the damage that they do to you, there doesn't seem to be a good pattern to it. I mean, maybe there is. Maybe there's got to be a standard formula. So we did lose. And so now you'll see the scene. Everybody has a smart remark when they beat you. You should stick with hoops, was that guy's. And you have more continues for easier difficulty levels. So when we come back, we're going to fight this battle again.